Yes, welcome back to week 2 of the Fantasy Danger Zone podcast. Now with 100% more music.
We really hope.
Than last year.
Last week was really fun for everyone watching. What are they doing? Why is it silent?
Why are they dancing to the silence, the sounds of silence?
And at the end, why did Justin cut off in the middle of a sentence?
I don't think anybody watched the end, but if they did, that's what they would have seen.
Yeah, that's what they would say. They would have missed the next time.
Next time on Fantasy Danger Zone podcast. Okay, well, welcome everybody. It's week 2, and what does that mean, Justin?
We know nothing.
We know nothing.
This is the big lesson of this. I think this is the conclusion I reached while watching the games on Sunday. Was week 2 is by far the most dangerous week of the football season because week 1 we know nothing. But we all understand that we know nothing.
We know nothing.
It's a known unknown.
It's a known unknown. We know that we don't know things that we are going to know.
Yes. What happens when we watch week 1? We see certain things happen. We think, oh, look, Marcus Mariota and Carlos Hyde are going to eat up the league this season, right?
Yeah, Tony Romo looks like an elite quarterback throwing touchdown passes.
Peyton Manning, I think, is done.
Peyton Manning is fucking done.
Oh, I think we still thought that at halftime of week 2. But
could also still be true. But the important thing is we know nothing, Lebowski. Nothing.
Nothing.
So with that in mind,
I think this showed up nowhere more prominently than in our bold declaration that 3 teams really had this season figured out. This was the names of these teams were Desnuts, Rooster Illusion, and forgetting the third one because he keeps changing it. Dorito Dinklage.
And he was OMG Spaz, but halfway through the podcast changed his name to Dorito Dinklage, which I would say, is solid. Solid. Good, good move.
Like an A minus?
A minus. Like A minus, yeah. I mean, it's not like, classic, it's not Valerian Steelers who just week after week dominates the league in naming.
Or Clever Girls.
Clever Girls, right? Which is just like, combined with the image, it's just off the charts good.
Yeah, and that iconic phrase being out there on her team for a full 3 years before the movies even came back.
Right. She predicted the movies. It wasn't like the other way around.
Yeah. So, an A gets you ice cream.
A gets you ice cream. Yeah, A minus. So
tell me. Why don't you tell me what happened with those 3 teams? You probably got the standings up, do you?
Yeah, I got the standings up. So, last time, Mike Fitch and the Rooster Illusions, or are they just the Rooster Illusion? Are they the Rooster Illusion, or do you think of them as many Rooster Illusions?
I think the team is Rooster Illusion collectively. They are.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, right? It's like being the Heat or the Jazz.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you call one player on the Jazz? Is he a Jazz? Is he a Jazz?
I think he's just a jazzy. We should look this shit up. Anyway, for the Rooster Illusion, rocked it with 180 fucking points against my poor Pound of the Pensers. And this week he clocks in a delightful 84 points.
Wow, not even within a century mark of his previous week.
Now, Clever Girls, Velociraptors that they are, devoured him 163 to 84. But let's actually go to the numbers. How did Michael Fitch, who by order of the email is not shaving his head, getting a tattoo, or finishing last, how did he finish with a grand total of 84 points? Well, let's start with his beloved Drew Brees, who put up a whopping 14 points.
14. Yeah, 14. It was a rough game for Mr. Brees. What looked like a great matchup. Tampa Bay's defense got totally eaten up by Tennessee in week 1. Another of these things we thought we knew. Before we knew nothing.
Yes.
The combination of Brees and Cooks, they're projected for nearly 38 points and ended up with 20.9 combined.
Right. Now, that's not to say, Jarvis Landry's there with his 17 points. Carlos Hyde gets 11 out of his 15. Martellus Bennett. Does Martellus Bennett look like a bitch?
He does not.
No, he does not. But he only got 6.8 points. Oh. And his beloved Bishop Sankey, who last week smoked me for just an incredible, 26 points. Something like that.
Absolutely his favorite player in the NFL.
Favorite fucking player in the NFL.
How great Bishop Sankey is. He's like, he moves diagonally across the field.
4 points. 4 points. And here's the real killer though. Zach Hawker, the New Orleans kicker. Guess how many points he got, Justin? Guess how many points?
Well, kickers usually get like between 4 and 9, I would say. So
sure. So you would guess.
Let me look at the score. New Orleans scored 14 points. So I assume 2 points, the 2 extra points, right?
Yeah. No. 0 points. 0. None. Zip. Nada.
That's such a shame. Oh, I was looking at the wrong score. They scored 19. It was Tennessee that lost 14. So 19, I would have thought 4 field goals and an extra point, but
no,
not for Mr. Hawker. No.
What do we know, Justin?
We know very little. Is that
nothing?
We
know nothing. Now, the other teams that did pretty well, Dorito Dinklage and Des Nuts. Des Nuts actually clocked in the lowest at 75 points. Dorito Dinklage just barely cracking 100, which, as we know, 100 ain't what it used to be, right?
Yeah, this is like 80 in the old days. So
yeah,
we'll come back to Des Nuts in just a minute because we have a special segment that's going to touch on them quite a bit. But
yeah, but it was rough.
Yeah, Dorito Dinklage. If you look at his team, he had his A-list stars really rolling there. Ben Roethlisberger, 36 points. Like even in these inflated scoring days, that is a huge score for a quarterback.
Yep.
And Rob Gronkowski, 22. Expect nothing less.
Big, lovable golden retriever that he is.
Yep.
All he does is score points.
He had a fun weekend. They told him they were going to take him up to upstate New York where he could run and play.
He can run around, take the ball, go wherever he wants. It's a big open field.
Yep. But beyond that, it's all single digits. And the Miami defense with a plum matchup against Jacksonville, right? Like if you were naming your top 5 offenses you want to go against for the defense, I think 3 of them are Jacksonville. Right.
Which leads him to a grand total of 0 points on defense. Now, to be fair to Dorito Dinklage, he's got some bench strength.
Yeah, he's got a lot of useful running backs, which I believe was advertised on the league message board, including Ronnie Hillman, who maybe should get handcuffed up with C.J. Anderson if you want 2 formerly productive running backs who are struggling with the offensive line instead of just 1.
Would you like to have 2 running backs that collectively will score you less than 15 points? Because if so, that man, Keith, has a deal for you.
Yeah. Dion Lewis had a huge game, but Keith, ever the Patriots believer, disbeliever, skeptic, didn't put him in his lineup. Not good enough to carry the rock for Keith Red Wynachik.
Now,
and then for the final last player on this bench, Carlos Williams, who I bring up only because I heard the best nickname for him, Carlos the Red Wheelbarrow Williams.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, look, the thing about Patriots fans, and I don't mean to slander all Patriots fans, but it's true about all of them, is that they are the only team that will simultaneously arrogantly claim that they are better than everybody else, then bet against their own fucking team, then on top of that still win, and then lord over you how much better they are than everybody else, right? Like most fandoms have like look, if you're a Browns fan, like I feel for you, man. Like that sucks. Like being a Browns fan sucks, and your team's gonna lose, and you bet against your own team, but you have the decency to A, lose like you're supposed to, and then B, like, act sad about it.
Yeah, act sad about it if you lose. And if you ever win, you're joyous about it. You're
deliciously excited.
You were like Boston Red Sox fans in 2004, not like Boston Red Sox fans in 2005 to present.
It's no good. So, as a reminder, Keith Redwine, Patriots fan, has a lot of players on the chopping block. And for a Patriots fan, that means all of them are on the chopping block.
All available. There's no loyalty here at all.
No. If Tom Brady has a bad week, he'll fucking cut him. All right. Yeah. So we know nothing. Nothing is known.
Yeah, I think we should come to our third team is taking a precipitous fall. And I think what we're really getting to now is sort of a turning of the luck, right? Last week, Kate Casserole had the really tough loss, remember? Where she got zeros from 3 different players, lost by a couple of points.
Yeah.
Well, this week, she ended up with the 3rd lowest score in the league, right? This was here at 98 points.
Yep.
And that was good enough for a win over Des Nuts. So there is, if you're having a tough time, just stick with it. And I'm sure I think the league has shown us time and again that the luck will turn around in most cases, right? And there's very few people who are stuck with bad luck year after year after year.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've learned from fantasy football. We have not instead learned that it's so fucking random that there is no rhyme, reason, or order to it at all. And it's literally just putting bets on people that we have no control over and picking cards out of a deck of 1,000 fucking cards, all that generate a random number when you play them on your turn. No, we haven't learned that at all. What we have learned is you'll get yours, man.
Keep the faith.
Just keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
Okay. On that note of keeping the faith, that note, we have a special feature this week, looking over some key drops and injuries that have ensured that week 2 remains as incomprehensible to us as, say, whatever it is that makes Patriots fans the way they are.
Yeah.
That's probably white privilege. All right, never mind. Let's keep moving. Justin, tell us, what are the drops this week?
Well, the key drops that happened last week. There were most drops go pretty well. Like you're usually dropping the guy who didn't do anything the week before, and usually you're picking up someone who has potential to do better. One of them was sort of a real quick pick up and drop. Momentarily, Dorito Dinklage was the owner of one Dave Johnson of the Cardinals, who was in there at running back with only CJ K against him. Andre Ellington on the lineup. David Johnson subsequently got dropped in favor of the Red Wheelbarrow one day before the game. All he did was go out, run the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, go out and have rip off a 40-yard touchdown run at the end of the game, finish with 21.6 points on no one's roster.
Womp womp.
The other one is actually I was originally going to phrase this as the pickup of the week for week 3. Pounding the Pence went out and got himself a tight end. He scoured the waiver wire and found this young buck, Crockett Gilmore of the Ravens. Put up, do you know how many points he put up last week?
I think it was over 20, 21 probably.
23.8 points. Someone else had dropped him the week before. I knew he was on someone's roster week 1, but not in week 2. So I went to go look. Turns out it was Pounding the Pence, dropped him in week 2.
Right. So I do all this tight end research because I'm like, well, fuck, Rob Gronkowski's out. Whoever the other was, Kelsey. I knew somebody was going to take Kelsey really early. So I was like, man, we are thin on tight ends. I gotta do some research on tight ends. And I come across a young Crockett Gilmore who has an awesome name. Awesome. Like Crockett Gilmore. Who names their kid Crockett? It's awesome. Right?
That's with big ambitions for that thing.
You don't name your kid Crockett and say, like, yeah, I hope he, does okay. Right? Yeah, I hope he becomes an accountant. I mean, but even then, Crockett Gilmore, CPA. Like, if
I'd watch that show.
Yeah, I'd watch that show. So yeah, I mean, like,
unless they were starting Andy Richter as the CPA, then it probably wouldn't be good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's never good with Andy Richter. It's always kind of a letdown. Like, it sounds like it's going to be great. Crockett Gilmore, Andy Richter. It's never good.
Yeah. So anyway. Unfortunately for Pound the Pence got his Crockett back, got Crockett and Lockett back together. All it cost him was $30 of free agent budget and a win in week 2.
That's the best part. If I had played Crockett Gilmore, if I had just put him in instead of Escobar, if I had not put my faith in the disastrously, ridiculously inept Dallas Cowboys, who will somehow manage to cause every fan to have a heart attack and still win the game, I would have beaten Derek.
Okay, now getting on from there from our drops to our injuries. There's been a little bit of talk this year about some injuries that happened to a 2-0 team. I don't know if you've heard it. It's not making much noise in the media, but the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. No, we can't call them that.
Yeah, nobody thinks that anymore. Not even Cowboys fans thinks they're America's team.
The 2-0 Dallas Cowboys lost their starter wide receiver Dez Bryant in week 1 to a broken foot, and then followed up in week 2 with a broken collarbone to Mr. Tony Romo. Tony Romo. That's what I said.
Tony Romo. One word.
Yes. But with an accent on the.
With an accent, yeah.
Oh, apparently. It was readily apparent that Dez Bryant was on our new owner Ben's team, Dez Nuts, team namesake. What I didn't realize until I went looking on Monday night, just to look around, see who had some quarterbacks that got injured, so I could exploit. Help these teams reach out to these owners and try to lend them a hand.
Yeah.
Des Nuts, also a Tony Romo owner. He's already addressed the situation though. I missed his press conference, but maybe we could get him on to make a statement about this. All I saw though from the newswire was he has picked up a free agent quarterback to take Tony Romo's place for the remainder of his injury. Do you know who that quarterback is?
Is it Mr. Tyrod Taylor?
It is not. Tyrod Taylor is. Well, did he already have him? He made a
might have already had him. Yeah.
That'll be his starter, I think.
Is it favorite ginger of the NFL?
It is. And if by favorite you mean inexplicably getting lots of money to start as a quarterback.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton is on his team.
Don't you feel like a show about Andy Dalton would actually star Andy Richter? Like Andy Dalton, quarterback at law, where he has to be a quarterback lawyer for the NFL. Like there's some new rule that passes that says only quarterbacks can defend people. And there's Andy Richter making it happen.
Yeah. You don't think it'd be Conan O'Brien?
He's too tall. Okay, so that was the drops and injuries for the week. Remember, your team would go 16-0 if it wasn't for the brain-crippling, tendon-snapping, bone-crushing reality that is the NFL. Yep. Instead, you'll go 8-8 because injuries mount for everyone.
Yep. This is not even to mention the team who's lost the starting running back week 1 and week 2 and is not even complaining about it.
Is that Derek?
No.
Paul?
No, that's my team.
So you are complaining about it.
I'm not complaining about it.
I mean, you are this passively aggressively complaining about it. I don't think that's better. Okay, on that note, let's go ahead and move over to our new segment for the week.
Brand new segment.
Brand new segment. See, it has been long a pattern of the show to mock me for my actual complete and total lack of knowledge about football because I have other things to do. And so usually I get asked questions like who's on which team and,
is this a real name is this a real kicker name or a made up name?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And
all names are made up.
All names are made up. It's true. They're all made up. But this time, we're going to go ahead and flip the tables a little bit and have Justin be the person getting questioned. This starts our little segment we'd like to call Englewood, Colorado. Okay.
Awesome.
Now, little known facts. Justin is from Englewood.
I am from Englewood. I'm from the streets of Englewood.
Englewood, California?
No, Englewood, Colorado.
He's so thug, ladies and gentlemen, that he's going to answer some very tough questions. And by tough, I mean really easy questions about the industry, very, very connected to the NFL, the rap industry. Now, in honor of Englewood, Colorado, and by Englewood, Colorado, I mean Englewood, California, we're going to start this week's questions with the West Coast, which means that basically everything here is going to be sort of aftermath, death row, kind of like, mid-90s kind of questions.
All right. I'm better at geography than I am at rap, so that may help.
Even with you sometimes. All right. All right. So, question number 1. Suge Knight. You know who Suge Knight is?
I've heard of her.
You've heard of her. All right. Suge Knight played football for which California NFL team during the 1987 players' strike? Now, here are the options. So you ready?
Well, isn't it all the teams in California?
It's either the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams, the Los Angeles Raiders, or the San Diego Chargers.
All right. Well, knowing what I know about Suge Knight, I'm trying to think of some kind of trick here, trying to trick me into picking the obvious one, and it's not. But I think I'm not going to overthink it. Suge Knight just jumps out to me as a Raider.
No, man, he was a Los Angeles Ram. He actually got drafted, or didn't get drafted, but signed by the Rams right after the draft, back in 1982 or 5 or something. And then when the strike happened, he actually played for the Rams. Yeah, He should be a Raider. But it was Los Angeles. They had 2 fucking football teams at the time. Did you know that they had 2 teams?
I did know that. Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, now their only pro team is USC.
Yeah. Better than both the Rams and the Excellent. Okay, next up. Which of these Dr. Dre signature anthems is not on his hit 1992 album, The Chronic? Okay, now remember.
Is this an audio quiz?
No, it is not an It would take too long to make an audio quiz, but we can do that in the future. We'll have a special round for audio quiz stuff. Okay, so it wouldn't even help you if it was, because they're all. It's not like.
Well,
it's not
if I heard Eminem rapping on it, I'd know that.
Yeah, none of them have Eminem. Come on. Okay. A, keep their heads ringing. B, nothing but a G thing. C, let me ride. 4, fuck with Dre Day.
C, A, B, C, or 4.
Sorry. D.
All right.
Dre Day.
One of those which I'm most familiar with is Nothing But a G Thing with Snoop Dogg on it.
Look at holy shit.
I don't know whether Mr. Dogg was acquainted with Mr. Dr. Dre. He did get his advanced degree there.
I love that you are trying to figure out when Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre got together, despite the fact that we saw Straight Outta Compton at the same time, and such events take place in the movie.
They didn't mention the dates of those. I'm going with Nothing But a G Thing. I think they came out.
You think Nothing But a G Thing, Baby is the song that's not on the 1992 and The Chronic?
Yeah, I think they came out later.
Okay, that is the single biggest hit on The Chronic. Like if I had to give people a test on the street and say which song, like just sing me the first song from The Chronic, they would be Nothing But a G. It's like saying, I wonder what's not on Nevermind. Is It Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Well, I don't know if Smells Like Teen Spirit was featuring the Meat Puppets, and I felt like Nirvana didn't collaborate with them until 93, 94.
My favorite part of this is how convinced you are that you can outthink it, right? Yeah.
Well, if you gave me like On a Plane, Lounge Act, Polly, and Lake of Fire, I didn't know Lake of Fire came later because it's the Meat Puppets.
Okay, the correct answer is Keep Their Heads Ringing, the classic Dr. Dre song off the album Friday, which is Ice Cube's like solo movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I was thinking of Keep Your Head Up by Tupac.
You just Googled that right now, didn't you?
No, it's a feminist anthem.
All right. Speaking of Tupac, the man himself, Tupac Shakur, was killed in a drive-by shooting at the intersection of Flamingo Road and Koval Lane.
Spoiler alert.
In which city? Los Angeles, California, Sacramento, California, Las Vegas, Nevada, or Houston, Texas.
Give me the roads again.
Flamingo Road and Koval Lane.
All right, Flamingo. There's Flamingo Casino in Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas, Nevada.
Really?
That's my guess. It's my final answer.
That's your logic. There's a Flamingo Road. There's a Flamingo Casino, so it must be in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, it's more than I got on the other 3 cities.
And you got it right! Yep, poor Tupac was shot in Las Vegas, spent 6 days in the hospital, and then passed on.
I almost picked Houston because it was sort of a why else would you put Houston in this question? But
yeah, it's like I spent some portion of my life designing and scoring tests for children to mislead them into the wrong answers.
To mislead them or lie to them?
What's the difference?
It's the same.
Okay. That marks the end of Inglewood, Colorado. Our new segment will be back next week with some East Coast questions, hopefully in honor of like some East Coast team doing something. I mean, this last week has been rough, but maybe. Okay. Next up, match of the week.
Wait, do we have any questions from our guests?
No. I was told that a question was texted to me, but no such text materialized, unless it was in my chat. No, I don't see anything in my chat either. So we have no questions from our guests.
Okay. Well, if one comes in, we can always tack it on after the matchup of the week.
Yep.
Just to direct any. Let's see. Oh, wait. Maybe I was looking at my own chat where I said I texted Marissa and I told them to turn down the music.
Yeah, maybe. Go. Match of the week.
Okay. Matchup of the week this week is 2 1-1 teams who are near the top of the league in scoring. One of them, I think, is actually in first place in the entire league.
Wow.
In total points.
Yeah.
Although with a 1-1 record because of some bad matchup luck week 1 with a powerhouse team. This matchup is going to be Clever Girls against Master of Quack Fu. Each team is 1-1, has some strong players. Most notably for Quack Fu, he, in addition to his already strong team, he has Le'Veon Bell returning to action. And his star player, Andrew Luck, has been a little less than stellar so far. Pun, because Brandon's an astronomer.
We had 24 points his first week, but yeah, 12.4 points the week before.
Yeah. So let's have a look at these. Do you want to go first or second with your prediction for this game?
I'll go first. So I think Manning and Luck, that's the quarterback matchup, but I think it's kind of a wash. Like each of them is liable to do poorly, like if things go bad, and each of them is liable to do well. I don't think there's anything that says like this is a definitive matchup. And right now Marissa's got Eric Decker in her lineup, who's obviously not playing this next week, like he's not even practicing. But I think that when we move down the list, like to wide receiver and running back, I kind of like Marissa's team, especially given that Bell hasn't played yet, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know. No, could be good, could be bad. Rest of it feels kind of even to me. So I am going to give this to Marissa by just a bit.
Okay. I'm going to go the other way with this. I think even though I can assume Marissa is going to put Alshon Jeffrey back in the lineup in place of Mr. Decker, I have faith in Le'Veon to come back strong. It's not like he was injured or anything. He was just out a couple of games for smoking the reefer. And I look at some of his other players. I'm not too big on Andre Johnson. I feel like he's taken a few steps back into his old age, 34. But Mark Ingram's been super solid, and I love Allen Robinson this year. I think he's a guy that was one of those guys I was sort of targeting in multiple drafts, just didn't get him anywhere. So I sort of have A-Rob envy here, his flex spot. So.
It doesn't roll off the tongue. Does it? You realize they're playing at New England, right?
Yeah.
You realize he plays for the Jaguars.
Okay. You realize Buffalo put up like 35 points on New England last week, right?
They just let them do that so that they could crush them even more. Like you don't play Buffalo and hold them to 0 points. You play Buffalo, let them score like 40, and then just outscore them by 20.
Well, I'm expecting A-Rob to join Jordan Matthews and the Garbage Time All-Stars this week. Perennial Garbage Time All-Stars, Fatty Matty and Megatron.
Yeah, right. Like we're down by 20. Quick, throw 2 touchdowns that don't matter.
Yep. Matters to my fantasy people. They know.
They know what's up. Okay. Well, are we even keeping track of these? We should keep track of these.
Yeah, sure. Or maybe one of our fans can.
Yeah. So, so far my picks are not good. So I think I may have just doomed Marissa to a loss. But everything I touch turns to dust. Hey, good luck, Cowboys. That's it. So call us questions, text in, whatever. We're happy to do it. Next week, we're going to get the charity stuff set up. So hopefully we can schedule somebody to come in and talk about their charity. Maybe Ben can come on and do a little press conference about his piece, but that'll wrap us up for the week. We
haven't heard anything from the question. All I got was a hangout message 20 minutes ago saying I got a killer question for Mark, but no follow-up. And my village is being raided by Princess. Prince is raiding my village.
Yeah, not good. Anything else, Jiro?
I think that's it. I think let's keep these podcasts brisk so we don't dread doing them because we think it's going to take up an hour of our night. All right, and we'll play ourselves out for our traditional this is not a traditional country music cover of Danger Zone.
We're changing it up.
Oh, it's a new season.
Classic.
New season, new theme.
Classic, man. We didn't do that. Sometimes we just did this one.
Oh, this is Kenny Loggins. I thought this was. I thought this was the hip hop again. Turn the volume up a little bit.
It's as loud as it gets.
Okay. All right. My last words are going to be best tweet I read this week. If you and I get in a fight, there will be 17 hits. Me hitting you, you hitting me harder, and the 15 greatest hits of Kenny Loggins playing at my funeral.
We're out.